So a lot of information I got over the last couple of months. I knew that Liam Paro would be an option for this belt because a lot of people didn't think he'll win. They kept saying, "Well, Matias should fight this guy. He got a 3-fight plan." And I said, over the last couple of months, the 3-fight plan, it might not go all the way through because people were saying, "Well, Devin Haney gonna be the third fight." And I'll go back and actually find that clip and I'll actually repost it when I have time. But I was putting up videos saying that the the 3-fight plan or fight plan that Matias had set up where he was trying to fight Paro, Hitchens, and Haney. I said I don't feel like that could possibly get done. Just trying to set up fight. I'm not a fan of guys setting up 3 or 4 fights before they win the first one. Not a huge fan of it. If you look at the history of boxing, it doesn't go well for guys who say, "Oh yeah, I got 3 fights. I'm gonna fight this guy, that guy, that guy." Even the last fight with Inouye just had, he got dropped in the first, second round. So it's not having a fight set up next is not guaranteed to always be a possibility. But from what I've seen, Leon Paro, he's definitely gonna be an option for a guy like Regis Prograis, um, Michelle Rivera. I think Eddie Hearn's doing an excellent job stacking up these 140s, kind of making this like a mini tournament. It's actually like a major tournament almost. He has a lot of 140 guys that's associated with the zone, the platform, along with Arnold Barbosa. I'm hearing that other news about Barbosa as well coming up soon. But overall, I feel like this is a big deal when you really look at it because Paro was never looked at as someone who will be able to replace Subriel Matias. So now that he's actually came in and replaced Matias, that's a whole nother situation. So Catterall was actually supposed to be someone who was going to be involved with the situation as far as the mandatory fight with Matias and between the mandatory fight for Matias when he was going to face Richard Hitchens, but he has some uh, things he had to get over as far as that Josh Taylor fight. That's been on his mind for years, so he definitely wanted to get that out the way before he actually tried to chase a belt. He knows that a belt is important, but that was just something overall. He just wanted to get out of his system. He felt like he was very motivated to have that fight. So to actually tell him to step down or get out the way and just face your mandatory, I mean, you can, but in certain situations you can't. And I feel like those were one of the situations where you can't. But I think Matias losing that fight was a big deal because now a lot of people are scrambling trying to figure out Liam Paro should fight next. We should already know who Liam Paro should fight next. It should be Regis Prograis because Matias wanted to fight Regis Prograis next. If not Regis Prograis, then I'm hearing Michelle Rivera saying he wants to be next. They have a lot of options at 140. It's definitely going to be um, a very, very interesting next couple of months because right now Eddie Hearn is setting up a homecoming fight for possibly Liam Paro in Australia. It should be at the end of this, towards the end of this year, probably in the fall. Most likely past the summer, so it's not going to be in the summer. It's going to be in the next season, so it's definitely going to be something that's I'm going to be interested in. But I definitely like that Paro was involved in doing a lot of things overall that can change the sport of boxing. I really believe his boxing ability was just at another level. And he's a guy who's sure of himself. It sounded like he was talking trash, but it's not trash to me. I can tell the difference between trash, promotion, and confidence. Matias, when his talk was more so promotion. Liam Paro was talking in confidence, self-belief. And that's something you got to have in boxing. And I really do feel like he has skills. It's sad that people see him beat Montana Love and then he goes out and beat Matias and people are surprised. Like, you should have seen that out of Montana Love fight. And that was really something that he didn't have to do. He didn't have to go out there and fight Montana Love, then jump in the ring with Matias. So the fact that he actually did that and gave fans an extra set of like some extra film to actually use towards this fight, it goes to show that the name most of the time is bigger than the actual fight. Most people don't pay attention to the skills, the names. I'm so glad Liam Paro was actually in this position because if a guy like that lose, they would have said, he's not that good. We don't want to see him in more fights. But as you can see, he's the guy who's very good. And He could beat a lot of guys in 140. I don't think that Dalton Smith or anybody like that would be an option right now. I think Dalton Smith is more so trying to figure out if he's going to do 1 or 2 domestic fights. But I know also I have a fight being announced with Catterall that's being floated around right now. But that's a whole nother subject. But overall, man, I think Liam Paro is doing an excellent job, and it's a lot of things that he could possibly bring to the table. And I don't know if people are going to sleep on that, but I know right now a lot of people are woke up as far as what he brought to boxing and how he beat Matias. And it should have been already that way before he beat Matias, but in boxing we do a lot of prisoner of the moment type of things, and it doesn't help the situation overall. It definitely doesn't help the sport go forward. But I feel like he did an excellent job trying to just showing people that he's above everything that people are saying. Nobody's a boogeyman in boxing. I've been telling people for years, in a real 50-50 fight, you're not going to have nobody that's a boogeyman. It's hard to get knockdowns or KOs in a real 50-50 fight. It's sad too, because for some reason people will look at the only fighter I see people look at and say, oh, his KOs is because he can't box and he gets outboxed most of the fight and he doesn't have any defense and all everything. That's only Deontay Wilder. But Matias is another example of he got outboxed and he relied on the KO. Even when he was down on rounds, he tried to rely on the KO to get the knockout. The only fights that Matias has lost is those ones where he didn't get the KO. So people got to really understand that. But when boxing, you have so many fans that have agendas and they just want a certain country. I understand you got Puerto Rican fans. I have no problem with Puerto Rican fans. But you degraded a lot of champions trying to make sure that Matias has a name. He should make his name in the ring. If you can't make your name in the ring first and then go out here and prove it against a guy like Leon Paro, then the fans are going to want to get tired of you. You see how many fans have turned on Matias. I haven't turned on him. I have the same opinion I have about him a couple of months ago. His style is still going to be difficult for a lot of people, but these fans aren't really supporters. They really aren't. But shout out to Liam Paro. A lot of people didn't think he could actually get it done. He didn't have a lot of support in Australia that thought he would get it done either. I'm not going to cap. That's all I got. Like and subscribe.